Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was just, as I was saying, it's noon and we have a quorum, so we will convene the regularly scheduled board meeting of the fire commissioners for Whatcom County Fire District 4. And just looking at the screen here, looks like everybody should know each other, so we can forego the introductions. Chris, would you be willing to start us off by just going through the COVID protocol?
Yep. Public comment to Governor Inslee's proclamation 28-20. District 4 is prohibited from providing a location for the public to attend this meeting. Members of the public will be able to hear the entire meeting via Zoom meeting. And the next item is the approval of the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So this was sent out ahead of time for the commissioners to review. Does anybody need more time to go through the consent agenda, or is there anything that needs to be pulled out and discussed? If not, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
I could read your lips there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, thank you, Steve. So it was moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda. Is there any other discussion on that?
If I may,
Yeah.
sir, my chief's report is done and I will email it to you very shortly. It's just being compiled. So I apologize for that not being in there.
Fair enough. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, that takes us to unfinished business. And I see Heather on my screen. So thanks for joining us. And in consideration of your valuable time, yeah, we've got you there at the top. So I don't know, Heather, Jason, Chris, whoever wants to just kind of kick off the discussion. If we're going to have a kind of an update summary, yeah, let's hear what's going on.
Heather, please go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so Chief already has your 200 extra mailers. Maybe Chris already has them from Jason. I think nods. Great. So they're out there, and you guys should feel free to take them with you everywhere. Leave them with everyone you encounter. They don't do any good in Chris's. There it is. That's right. So get those babies out there. Very nice. I did ask the printing company, Mr. Andrews, to confirm that not just your address, but neighbors on either side of you to personally confirm that those addresses were in the file. And he said he did. And there was another address. Chris, I'm sorry. Do you remember which other address I asked you for?
I believe it was former Commissioner Hansen.
Yes. Thank you, Chris. It was former Commissioner Hansen, again, to personally verify that his address was in there since he didn't get one last time. And Chad said that he would do that. So they were mailed with the ballots. They should be in the mailboxes probably tomorrow. Hopefully that'll engender a lot of conversation. I know that the union has been busy. Jason reports that there are signs all over the place, and they have signed up. The union has purchased door hangers. You know, they're about this big and they have a paper loop on top. The union purchased door hangers, and they have a schedule. They're going to go in at least pairs and go all over the place, informing voters. When you do door knocking, you don't really want to get into arguments. If people don't want to hear the message, you just thank them for their time and move along. And they should be able to do 35 to 50 houses in an hour. So they've got groups signed up to go out there and spread the word. What else is going on? We have coffee with the chief scheduled this afternoon at 4. I'll be curious to see if we get any takers on that. And there are 4 other sessions coming up. People can come and ask any question they want about District 21, District 4, or hopefully about the levy. And District 21 is getting plenty of support from the Linden Tribune, but we also sent an op-ed under Jason's name to the Bellingham Herald. and to the Northern Light, asking them to pick it up and publish that. And that has a balanced approach to North Whatcom Fire and Rescue, pushing the D4 message out there. So we are now in that last 2 weeks, close to the last 2 weeks period. All the boxes have been checked and we just need to turn out voters. And that's very much what the union is going after once these mailers hit the boxes. Any questions, comments?
Great, great update. Sounds like a multifaceted approach there. So yeah, really appreciate that. Is there a way to get access, Jason, or to this door knocking schedule that's going on? You know, if somebody, you know, wanted to be a part of that on their own time, just to know where to go and who to contact, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not in charge of that, but I will have
Okay.
people that are get in contact with you. So
Yeah, thanks. That'd be great. Let's see. I did have another question. What was it?
we are seeing an uptick in calls from actually specifically District 4 residents, asking about the levy and the RFA and levels of service and what are we currently receiving. And there's been some really intelligent questions asked by residents of District 4, and some hard questions to answer, honestly. So it's good. They're seeing the signs, and that's where when I'm asking, so, you know, how'd you come across this? They're seeing the signs, it's driving them to the District 4 website. And these are additional questions they have above and beyond what's on the FAQs. So I think it's working.
There should be even more activity once they're sort of cross-pollinating with the library, if you will, and they're going to be doing sign waving on important corners, high visibility corners, at times when the library is too, you know, sort of the more the merrier approach to get people's attention. And they're going to be out there waving their signs as well. And
I believe, once again, I'm not involved in it, but I believe in my conversations, what I'm hearing is there will be sign waving in the District 4 area as well at some of those key intersections. So hopefully that will drum up some interest, people asking questions, taking a look at the issue is what we're looking for.
Good. Steve or Harry, have anything for on this particular topic?
Well, I was going to mention the fact that I'm due to go ahead and cover my whole neighborhood with the handout that Chris gave me. And I find that most of my people are working. So I've got to reschedule how I'm going to do this. Maybe have to wait till this weekend, but we'll get it out.
thank you.
And likewise, I'm going to go collect some of those flyers from Chris today. And now that we're just a few weeks out, I think this is the crunch time. You know, this is when people start paying attention. So I'm going to ramp up my efforts to contact people in my neighborhood and also put something on Facebook on my personal page and things like that. So,
Thank you very much.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, the election is 2 weeks from Tuesday, so you're absolutely right. This is crunch time.
Great.
All right. Do you have any last questions for me?
Oh, thank you, Heather.
Don't think
Okay.
so.
Thanks for all the hard work.
Absolutely. I'm happy to do it. Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Heather.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that takes us to the 2022 budget process item. So I guess, I mean, it's kind of separate, but kind of related. Jason, I just want to ask you because, you know, we've been hearing over the last, I don't know, almost couple of months now that we might be seeing a proposed contract, at least to start kind of those discussions. Any update on when we might be seeing something? I only ask because you know, this body is going to need to make some pretty important strategic and policy decisions. And I feel like we're running out of runway a little bit. Not to mention the fact that the term that I'm in is going to be expiring in about a month or so. And of course, the other two commissioners will need to appoint somebody. That can be anybody, probably including me. If not, I'd come back at the beginning of January. So they've got some continuity of leadership things to consider there, but that's their decision anyway. So, but while I'm still sitting in this chair, I just kind of curious, trying to figure out what kind of timeline we have in front of us.
Yeah, I trust me, I get the running out of runway part. So as you and I discussed, we're building two budgets because we're doing a yes and a no budget essentially, which is, it's not complicated. It's just one's bare bones and one is what we hope to see the future be. I'm 90% done. We just got stuff. I should say stuff, but we just got a memo from, as Chris put on the agenda here. Yesterday, we got the numbers from the county, or sorry, Tuesday, we got the numbers from the Whatcom County assessor as far as projected tax revenues. And the last piece I have to do is with the budget is with the shop and what is vehicle repair looking like for next year. And I need to get with him, and that will be the final division, I would say, would be building out that budget, and that will give us that number that you and I, Commissioner Land, had talked about. That'll give us that final number of, and like I said, that'll be for both yes and no votes. So it's the good projection and the bad. So that's where I'm at with that. We can't, like you said, with time running out on both positions for for yourself and just with planning time. I'd love to wait for after November 2nd to roll the whole thing out. Trust me, I'm getting the equal pressure from District 21. And I'm honestly, if somebody's got a great idea of how to do this, how to roll out two budgets at once without either A, completely confusing the commissioners, or B, confusing any public that takes the time to watch the meeting, I'd love a hint. But right now, I'm just fearful that it would be an absolute mess, which is why I had just looked at it with Commissioner Land and with Commissioner Ansel, so that it was, that was my theory in that. So I'm willing to take direction whichever way you want to go, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, no, I think, you were on the hook a little bit, but now that I see that memo from the county is dated October 11th, that has to do with the property tax levies information. It seems fair that, you weren't able to complete everything you needed to do while you're waiting on other people. So that's fair. You mentioned though, you're going to develop kind of two budgets, kind of a yes on the levy and a no on the levy budget. Seems to me though, that even if the levy passed, it's not as if we're just going to be flush with revenue, because if it passes, we're going to then be paying for and investing in some of these things that we promised, the voters we would do. So it's not as if it's going to create, a giant reserve fund or something like that. It seems to me that both, whether it passes or doesn't pass, we're almost going to, this district anyway, is almost going to be in the same financial belt tightening situation, really either way.
And that is correct. And actually Chris brought up a very good point to me that we need to talk about, and then probably Mr. Quinn needs to weigh in on in the form of a memo. But in the District 4 levy run up, or in what we're talking to the citizens about, it talks about, replacement of apparatus. And the District 21 talks about replacement of apparatus. Well, what we didn't take the time to do is actually figure out how are we legally going to do that? currently all the apparatus belongs to District 21, with the exception of some pieces that belong to District 4 when they came into the relationship. But now that District 4 is raising their levy rate to $1.45, and we need to replace some apparatus that are housed in District 4, mainly the engine. But that capital the increase won't pay for the entire engine. Does that make sense? So the tax increase, if we take the capital piece out of it, it pays for about $440,000 of a $650,000 engine. So there's
Yeah, okay, I get it. Just one
know what I
guy
mean?
talking here. Yeah, one guy talking here though, but again, I then switched to RFA. And so, when in my mind, when I'm thinking this is, the next year is gonna kind of come and go. And we hope that the voters will approve the RFA process. What's ours is yours and what's yours is ours.
Absolutely.
We consolidate. So, I mean, in my way of thinking, it's really a non-issue.
And I agree. Chris just brought up, and there's just a tingling back here that says, yeah, maybe we should pay for an opinion from Mr. Quinn or Richard Davis. It doesn't matter which one. Either way, it's going to cost us. But how do we bridge that gap in those? Because you're right. This time next year, hopefully, we should be at the point where the levy passes and the RFA is done. And then none of this is an issue, and we're just wasting oxygen talking about it. But in that 3-month gap, we need to make sure that we're right, or that somebody doesn't, we don't leave ourselves open to the auditor or, some sort of other official action. So I think there's some wisdom in running that down. But either way, to go back to your original question of, are things going to be tight for District 4? The answer is yes. Either way, it's going to be nip and tuck until we get to the RFA.
Well, maybe if the general consensus is we need some kind of legal opinion to weigh in on this, maybe you could ask the District 21 board if their attorney would want to do it. I'm looking at pinching pennies and saving, money
Right.
here wherever we can find it. And if their attorney is happy to do it, then I guess let's let them take the first run at it. Again, just one guy's opinion.
No, I think it's fair to do that way. I can see the wisdom in doing it that way. So, but yeah, it is going to be tight for District 4 either way, based on the fact that it's already tight, and then if the levy doesn't pass, it's going to be even more snug because your assessed valuation is going to drop, or the levy rate is going to drop, as is District 21's. If they both don't pass, and if they do pass, then with the service improvements and capital expenses, it's still going to be nip and tuck for District 4, which is that's really the crux of the RFA issue, right? I mean, that's why we started talking RFA to begin with, is so that we could put these two organizations together and be fiscally healthy as one.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't want to just have a dialogue
Right,
here.
right.
I mean, if Steve or Harry has anything on that, please weigh in, because the next thing I was going to do was I was going to ask either Jason or Chris, or maybe both of them, to maybe help us interpret this tax memo from the county. But I don't want to forge ahead without giving you guys an opportunity to weigh in on the discussion here on the budget.
Well, what you're saying makes sense to me. I mean, let's go with the district that maybe, that might have the money more than District 4 for the attorney's opinion if we need to. And it makes sense. I mean, which attorney should do it, it probably doesn't matter. So yeah, I have no issue with anything you said. It makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think we ought to bring the attorney in on this and cover our bases.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds good. So Chris or Jason, one or both of you, is there anything you wanted to maybe highlight or help us interpret this memo that's part of the packet from the assessor's office?
Should I, or Jason, do you want to?
Here, I'm happy to take a stab at it. As long as everybody understands, I'm still learning, and my checks and balances involve other fire chiefs that have been doing this a lot longer than me. So there are checks and balances.
We're all learning, I think. At least I am still.
Yeah.
Harry knows everything.
Yeah, Harry
Yeah,
probably
right,
doesn't.
right. Yeah.
Harry probably doesn't need to learn anymore, but we're good.
Too
So
old to learn anymore.
if you go to page 38 of your board packet, you'll see District 4 is going to have two of these worksheets essentially that are going to show what your expected increase amount is for next year.
My packet doesn't have page numbers. Are you, you can
Tell you
either
what,
share
I will share my screen. Yep.
or just tell me what it looks like.
If you look
that?
under the, I'm sorry, if you look in the meeting packet under the budget tab,
Yeah,
the first on top is a letter from the assessor's office, and then it shows that that's our assessed valuations. And yep,
So
yeah, I
here's
those
found,
are the-
no,
Yep,
I found
this
that
one-
part of it. I just didn't know what sheet.
this is
he
for
was
the
talking about.
expense fund. It's because it sounds a little bit, not capital and bond, but this one is for our expense fund for our fire levy.
Okay, Jason, we can see that great, but my weak eyes, are you able to blow that up any?
I should be. Yeah.
Mark, do you want me to bring you a packet over?
I've got the packet.
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay. I just wasn't
Okay.
sure.
How
which
about
one.
this?
Now-
Whee, that's nice.
People see that better? Okay.
Yeah,
So this is the page that Chris is referring to that shows this is what goes into the expense fund. These are the tax revenue that would go into the expense fund. And you can see the previous year's levy. You can see this is where it gets weird. The refund amount, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. That's how much it went up last year, correct?
Yeah, they always have a refund amount from the county that they also give you, plus the new construction. So that's why it's a little bit higher.
Okay.
But the 1% increase is only over the previous year levy. So it's the top amount plus 1%. So the fire levy we would have a revenue of 1,562,023.65. That would be the amount that we would receive under the fire levy if the levy lit lift does not pass.
okay.
Where it says 1% increase over PYL, that's previous year levy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So here's
right there, yes.
Yep, right here.
And the same applies to the EMS levy, which is probably.
Correct. And that's the next page is
This one.
the EMS levy.
Mhm.
So
409, goes up from 409 to 405 to 409.
And I suppose they didn't give us any kind of projection on if the levy passes.
no.
They don't have those projections, but we have the assessed values. They also, maybe those are the pages before.
Yep.
You
So
know,
if we
with all
go
the with those columns. Yeah, if you look at the ones that say taxable assessed value, regular levy, that is the one for the fire levy. So you
So-
see the amount, it's actually it's a third column, taxable AV, regular levy.
right here.
No, the one next to it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this one. And if you take that amount and divide it by, 1,000 and go by 1.45%, that's how you can calculate how high our tax revenue would be, which is about.
Have we done that? Do we know what that number is?
It's about 3,041,500 527.60.
So basically double.
Yeah,
We'd go from 1.5
yeah,
to,
and a little bit less than double.
okay,
But we would not collect the EMS levy. So they also
Right.
send us preliminary numbers for the EMS, which is on the next pages, but a little bit further down probably. Yep, but we don't even need to look at those ones because we wouldn't get the EMS levy.
No,
right.
So we have a little over 3 million. Plus
Okay.
minus, sometimes the final numbers that they have in January, they vary just a little bit because we don't really know what new construction is yet.
Okay,
So we have those two budget numbers that we can, for the budget scenarios.
Well, Chris, I have a question. If the levy passes, this EMS is going to be moot.
It's gonna be what?
Moot. I mean, it won't have any bearing at all
Oh,
because we're
it
going to,
won't. No, it won't.
Yeah.
I have to work with the assessor then to make sure they know. I mean, I already talked to Cassie. I told her that if we pass our levy lid lift, we won't be levying for the EMS.
Yeah.
But we have to wait until, November 2nd to do any paperwork.
Chris, is there any board action that has to be taken on that? You know?
Today,
No, not today. I'm just curious if the levy passes, what does the board have to do to abolish? We can't abolish that, right? We just draw it down to zero?
for the EMS levy, you mean?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes, I would say, I have to ask Cassie if I even have to send something in. If I have to send in, a resolution that says we levy zero, or if she says, there are certain documents we just fill out and just send those ones in. So I have to see once we get to that point, but she's aware of it.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
I think, and then upon the formation of the RFA is when District 4 and District 21 formally dissolve is when that levy actually goes. Like it'll show up as a zero until
Yeah, as
until
a
that
zero,
time.
yeah, because we don't levy anything on the EMS levy.
so I think this all happened before Steve Cooley came onto the board. So just for his benefit, Steve, the reason that we wouldn't collect anything on the EMS levy was because some months ago, when we were, talking about, what's the term? We didn't want our customers to feel any sort of rate, taxation rate roller coaster. And so when we strategically were working with the 21 board, and lots of research and data went into focusing in on $1.45, we felt that it was a good idea that, they're at 145, we're at 145, and then we basically promised, or we committed to our customers that in order to provide rate stability, we would zero out the EMS levy. And just as a board, we made that decision to essentially not collect it, even though we could. So that's why, you hear us talking about not collecting on the EMS levy. So, I mean, in all fairness to you, because, you're going to be on the board now for some years in the future, hopefully, is, maybe when we need to make a decision on that, we could basically bring it up again. You could be part of that conversation and kind of officially weigh in on that, with whoever the other two commissioners are at the time. So, but that's kind of the history behind that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I had gathered so my understanding is essentially a promise to the voters that if we get this levy lid lift, then we're going to compensate, or we're not compensate, but as sort of in exchange, we're not going to collect the EMS levy.
Yeah. And also exactly. And just realizing that we're asking, it just didn't, multiple multiple baskets of taxation. I don't know what term I'm looking for. It just didn't seem to feel very good. You
Yeah.
know, it's just, this is what you're paying, and, you know, that's it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's also in our advertisement for the pro levy lift.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. Good discussion, good interpretation of the assessor's memo here. That helps. Chris, did you have, I mean, anything else on just the budget process, or, you know, what, you know, kind of you're doing, sort of in tandem, you know, as Jason also is getting ready?
Yeah, I'm currently working on the District 4 budget. I have a lot of accounts already finished. So I'm just waiting also, you know, on the intergovernmental payment, or contract payment on that number. And if the levy passes or not passes, so I just make adjustments on November 3rd.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I guess after the election, we'll definitely know what road we're on.
Yeah. And we can always, you know, schedule a special meeting to.
Yeah, I
discuss.
think that's almost going to be unavoidable at this
Yep.
point. Okay. All right, well, anything else on just, you know, the budget process before we move on to new business? Okay. I've got facility use billing for North Watcom Fire and Rescue. What's that all about?
Yeah, you know, we discussed a while ago that it was, I don't know, I think former Commissioner Hanson was still on the board, that we would bill District 21 for the facility use. But I had a talk with our legal counsel, Joe Quinn, and, you know, mentioned it at our last meeting a little bit, that we probably, you know, shouldn't bill District 21 for the facility use for training grounds or the admin offices.
And
Right,
So-
right, yeah, I agree. I
wanted to-
I thought we maybe had dealt with that, but so I was surprised to see it on the agenda. I was thinking maybe something new had come up.
No, that was it, but, you know, it's kind of a board decision to revoke the previous decision to bill them. So
Oh, gotcha.
if the board decides not to bill them, then I will work with Jason on those invoices.
So what are the issues that we have to consider in making that decision? Are we not billing them because we anticipate going through with the RFA process, and it would be kind of
Yeah,
money into the other entity when we hope to be one entity at the end? Or is it more of
Yeah,
a fairness
exactly.
issue with the taxpayers in District 4?
Yeah, I believe I emailed something out a few weeks ago, the opinion of our legal counsel. He said, you know, since we all have a consolidation currently and training together and,
Gotcha.
you know, looking forward to forming the RFA, like you just mentioned, it would be, you know, better for the organizations to work together and not bill each other for services. And, you know, if a room is needed for an assessment center for like a training captain, or, you know, firefighter testing, because those firefighters work here at the station too, and, you know. So,
I just want to be sure there were no other big considerations, like it's, you know, the taxpayers in District 4 are going to get cheated out of something if we don't bill District 21. But ethically, I think you're right. It's, why would we do that?
Yeah, Harry, do you have any thoughts on that?
No,
Well, I guess I'd like to make it official then. If the other two commissioners agree, maybe somebody would like to make a motion that we just recognize, you know, as part of moving forward in a cooperative working relationship, and what the future holds in that context, that we just recognize that we won't be billing North Watcom for the facility use.
So moved. Do I need to restate it, or? Okay.
I can come up with something. Is there a second?
I second it.
So it was moved and seconded that District 4 will not bill North Watcom Fire and Rescue for facility use. Is there any other discussion on that?
Yeah, just to clarify, from like this point forward, is that what we're saying?
Oh, yeah, again, no, that's a great insight, Steve. Do we have any outstanding invoices that need to be resolved?
We currently have 2 invoices. It
What
was
are they?
for 2 assessment centers that are, I received a check from District 21 for 1 use. For the April use, I didn't receive a check yet, but I haven't cashed the check.
How much
still
money
have
are we
it.
talking about?
I still have it here in the safe.
How much money are we talking about?
Total $400.
Oh, okay.
And the training schedule, I haven't billed anything out yet.
Jason, I know obviously you can't speak for the 21 board, but you work with them closely. Do you have any sense, or could you provide us any sort of insight as to how strongly or not strongly they would feel about either paying or not paying these 2 current outstanding invoices?
I think it would be a wonderful olive branch if we didn't, if we just, I hate to use the word make it go away, but it hasn't really been an issue in the past, and then it was, and I guess this is an opportunity to kind of make it not again.
Okay, so Steve, would you like to consider amending your motion to also include waiving the pending 2 invoices?
Yes, I move that we stop any attempts to bill District 21 for facility use from this point forward, and also to include the 2 existing invoices that we have outstanding.
Great.
We just essentially cancel those, I guess, right?
Sure. Any other discussion on that?
My second will also cover the current change.
So it was moved and seconded that District 4 no longer bills North Watcom Fire and Rescue for facility use, to include the 2 pending invoices. Those can either be made null and void, however Chris wants to do that. Any other discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank
Great.
you.
Yep, I agree. That's a nice olive branch too. All right, what is the letter from the Washington Surveying and Rating Bureau? That's under correspondence.
Yes, that is a letter that Chief Van der Veen received for the scheduling of the maintenance of the burn tower. Correct, Jason?
No, this is different. This is the Washington Survey and Rating.
Oh, goodness,
Bureau.
I'm sorry. Yep.
Yes. That's right. Nope, letting us know that they're going to come do their triannual visit and re-rate or look at, fire protection, how it's delivered, how it's put out there in the community, and do an insurance re-rate. That will happen next year. So they're just letting us know that we need to contact them, and it's time. District 21 board got the same letter. It'll be in their board packet tomorrow, or Tuesday, sorry.
But this is the survey that we anticipate negatively affecting our customers' insurance or some of their insurance ratings, or is that something different?
No, this is the one. Yep.
Mhm.
This is
Okay.
the one. The area, the lake, kind of Lake Wacom area down south of station where the former Station 11 was. This will affect them.
Okay.
If I can ask a question, Chief, if we were in the RFA already, I mean, we were one combined, I'm just trying to get a quick handle on how that's going to affect, well, I guess why that affects their insurance rates, and would it be different if this was a year later?
Unfortunately, no, it actually wouldn't affect it, and it's not going to do anything in the RFA at the outset. What dinged us was the sale of Station 11.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
short of, in my conversations with WSRB, short of us building a station and manning a tender, manning a piece of apparatus in that neighborhood, we're not going to be able to do anything in the immediate future to negate that.
we'll have time as part of that process during next year, basically is what their letter's saying, basically from January to October. Will we have time to get some messaging out to the public on why that's happening? And
Yes, and I'm actually, part of my plan was to leverage some of their experience on exactly how to package that
okay,
communication, right? How do you say that correctly and respectfully to your taxpayers?
okay, great. Thank you.
They will also give us, it's my understanding, they'll give us quite a bit of hints about how we can improve both small and large improvements. So, we can make incremental adjustments outside of just, like I said, opening a station, which is not a small feat.
Gotcha.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Sorry, Mark. One more quick question.
Yeah.
Chief, is that something that you spearhead? The whole communication with the board of the bureau and
It is something that I will be, myself and staff will be involved with, pulling data for them, and probably I will be the primary communicator back and forth between the assessor, but the report will come back to you as the elected officials.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good questions, good discussions. Thanks, Steve, for bringing that up. We have a thank you note. Is there a particular story behind this aid response, or?
No, not really. I just got the note in the mail and I thought I'm gonna share it.
Yeah, no, that's nice. Okay.
Do we respond to that sort of thing? Do
No.
we say, oh, we're happy? And it's obviously a child, or it appears to be a childlike writing, so might be fun to.
I know, Jason, Jenny still sends out the cards, correct?
We do send out cards. Yes, there are some, I would call them sentinel events, where we reach out to somebody, either, certainly all negative feedback we get, we respond to. And we typically also reach out when we are let know that somebody passed away shortly after our staff interacted with them. We always send them a sympathy card. And, I don't honestly, I have to look up this call to know who the patient was and what, age and stuff like that. But I certainly, your recommendation isn't bad at all, Commissioner Cooley, as far as, especially if it's a kiddo reaching out to us, that would be a good return.
Yeah,
You could make her fire chief for the day.
Sounds good. I'll take a day off.
it just, as in this time of the levy lid lift, it might just create some goodwill that goes, if that is a child, if it goes to the parents and they say, oh, wow, yeah, the district sent us a really nice letter back.
Right.
Just food for thought. I don't know how many of these you get, so I don't want to increase anybody's workload greatly, but might be nice.
Okay. Thank you. Good idea.
So I'm just looking at the, I guess, are there any announcements? Just working through the agenda here. Anything else for the good of the group, good of the district?
Nothing here.
Nothing for me.
Chris, did you get the announcement from Whatcom County Public Works about their advisement for winter weather?
No,
Traffic?
I didn't get anything.
Okay, I will email that to Chris and she can send out to the board. We got a letter from County Public Works that to expect worse than usual winter travel if we get a storm, based on staffing and just the current issues that are facing everybody. They have about half of their fleet of plow drivers is half of what it normally is. So yeah, and that is going to definitely affect people in the District 4 area. I would expect that Britton Road will still be, on the higher end of being plowed, although a lot of that's city. But we know Mount Baker Highway is going to be taken care of. We know Hannigan will be somewhere on the list, but it may make winter driving or winter response for us difficult this year. So I will forward that. They're just giving every agency a heads up that, look, this could be bad.
Hmm.
And just for my own edification, Chief, is there any setup with them if a crew is on their way somewhere and they just simply can't get there? Do they have a way to rapidly call out a plow to come escort you to a spot if your engine and aid car just can't get there?
We do. We run that through dispatch, and I'm not honestly sure if Prospect or Watcom has the red phone to Public Works, but somebody does. We used that 2 years ago.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, great. So the next scheduled board meeting is on November 16th at 12 noon. Does that still work for everybody? It also says there's a public hearing. What's the public hearing?
The public hearing is for, if we don't pass a levy lit lift, for the 1% increase in the tax revenue and for the budget. So we need 2 resolutions. If we pass a levy lit lift, then we need only 1. And it's due at the county on the 30th. At the county commissioners.
Okay, so just for protocol, as I look ahead, actually, November 16th, I can't remember. When does my term end again?
At the end of, on the following week.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the date in front of me.
Okay,
It's
so-
somewhere 20th, 23rd.
Okay, so anyway, I'd still be around for that one. So
Yes.
just for protocol, do we run those as like 2 separate meetings, or I just want to be informed a little bit to make sure I understand how to facilitate those meetings.
I have some information for you for next month, how
Okay.
to facilitate it. I got everything here for you in writing.
Okay,
And
great.
first we open the public hearing, go through that process, close it, and then we can start the regular board meeting.
Got it. Okay. Well, and yeah, okay, good. Yeah, sounds good. You can train me offline.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so that's the agenda. Great discussion. Thanks, Chief and Chris, for all the work you put into the materials to allow us to have a good, healthy discussion and get work done. Is there anything else before we adjourn?
Nothing for me.
Okay, then we stand adjourned, and we'll just make our way here and sign documents for you, Chris.
Yep. Harry
Right
and
now,
Steve,
Chris.
you're coming down